everybody, it's me, Kat. I am here in my treehouse slash healing space, and it's a beautiful day. And I decided after seeing a client to jump on here and talk to you guys. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about today was a couple of things, but the main thing that's been on my mind to share with y'all is, as we are in this space of navigating continued growth, evolution, and healing, what we need to understand is that in the midst of that, we need to give ourselves grace. We still have to realize that we're just humans, and we're having the soul's having a human experience, and you're more than just a set of problems to be fixed. So as we navigate all of the shadow work and all of this purging that's coming up, there's a lot of things that we sometimes forget in the middle of this process, and that's to just give ourselves grace to understand that we are complex beings. So we're not just a set of, issues, diagnoses, and all of this stuff. So let's keep that in mind. And so, secondly, what I wanted to talk to you about was that while we're in the midst of this, everything is a reflection. So everything that's in our energetic field, sorry, this is getting caught. Anything that's in our energetic field is a reflection. So as hard and as painful as that might be to sometimes accept, it really is the case, because if you look at things from the standpoint that we are all interconnected, we are all simply just fractals of the divine consciousness. And so with that in mind, we're all basically just bits and pieces of each other on this earth plane, playing our roles in each other's lives for the ultimate expansion of our soul. So that's the higher way of seeing it. The way that you see it as a human is very difficult sometimes. It's very challenging navigating all of these intense emotions and all of this pain and stuff like that. I want it to be known that while we are going through this, we also need to get really used to detaching from this pain at the same time. So as we feel it and deal with it and move through it, we need to get accustomed to not being attached to the identity of pain, not being attached to our childhood trauma or relationships trauma and things like that, because it becomes very easy to be caught up in that becoming who you are. You don't want that to become who you are. So I'm also being really mindful about that type of thing, just realizing that in order to ascend, to transmute and ascend through things, we really have to detach from that version of ourselves. And we do have to thank and send love to that version of ourselves that got us to where we are, because it definitely was a part of the plan. So that version of ourselves did what they needed to do in order to maintain or to survive or whatever. But now we're moving into higher frequencies of existence and higher frequencies of being. The planet itself, the timelines itself are splitting into, you're going to be where you want to be. You're going to be either in a higher vibrational earth plane, new earth reality, or something else. So I'm hoping with all of this wind you can hear me. Let me move a little closer. So with that said, speaking of detachment, and I know this video may seem a little bit all over the place, and it's really because Spirit has given me these 3 specific things to talk about. And speaking of detachment, are we holding ourselves back? Meaning, is our detachment serving us? So are we detaching from a balanced way is what I'm trying to ask you. Are we detaching from a balanced way in the way that Buddhist teachings teach us that we release people when they want to be let go and we welcome them when they come? Or are we detaching out of fear? So we have to really learn how to balance our detachment. While detachment has definite benefits spiritually and emotionally, and definitely look into that when it comes to the Zen and Buddhist teachings on that. But we have to make sure that we don't go to the extreme. Extremes in anything in life never lead to anything that's healthy. So let's keep that in mind. When we are healing attachment styles, and you can heal them and overcome them, you're not stuck in this pattern or loop, okay? When you're self-aware, to first of all be aware, to understand that you have this, you can begin to work on it, okay? So that said, when it comes to avoidant attachment styles or anxious avoidant, which is called disorganized attachment style, which is actually my attachment style that I'm currently healing in order to go into a more secure attachment style, because I'm welcoming my divine counterpart. And you can't welcome your divine counterpart when you still have these aspects that prevent you from welcoming in healthy love, right? So that said, when you are in a state of being an avoidant because something has triggered you, and you're feeling anxious, or you're feeling avoidant, or a combination of both, which is what I happen to do sometimes, and I'm aware of that. So first step is awareness, right? So when that happens, we have to stop ourselves. We have to stop a loop, because what it is a loop. At a certain amount of time, the avoidance becomes self-imposed isolation over the long term that leads to chronic loneliness, and it leads to you being at the end of your life with no one in your life because you've been avoiding everybody, right? So there's that. We have to get used to being vulnerable with the people that we do trust with our heart space, and getting out of this reactive mode of instantly wanting to self-isolate, instantly wanting to withdraw, because the reality is we are social humans. We need other people, right? That keeps us healthy inside, spiritually and physically and mentally healthy, even to have a couple of close people. So when you feel the urge to isolate or self-isolate, I urge you to fight that resistance. Because what happens is you're blocking the very thing that you want. You want closeness, you want connection, you want intimacy. But then something triggers you. You have an old wound that's still seeping. And until you heal that old wound, you're going to continue the same cycle. And eventually what's going to happen is that your avoidance or your anxiety is not going to be benefiting you anymore. At one point, it's a balm, it's a protection, yes it is. But it also keeps out love. It also keeps out human interaction and connection and intimacy. I'll give you a little story. What happened to me actually recently is I was triggered by someone that I'm close to. We'll call her a friend. And my immediate reaction was just to withdraw. Okay, I can see this is going to be one of these patterns where people do XYZ behavior to me, and I just don't want to deal with it. So let me just shut myself down immediately to avoid it. But then, honestly, Spirit leads me to so much guidance. And the guidance was to resist this isolation, this self-imposed isolation, and to try to connect instead. So I did that. Normally I would say nothing, but what I did was I communicated with this friend, and I was very transparent with her, and I told her what was triggering me and why I was feeling that way. And her reaction was not what I thought. Her reaction was very loving, very empathetic, and understanding, and she thanked me for sharing that with her, and she reassured me of our connection, and she was actually hurt that she had thought that she had done something to cause me pain. And that's when I assured her that it wasn't her purposely doing anything. Things happen in the minds of people who are scared of being hurt that it's a projection and it's not the other person's fault. And sometimes it's not even anything they're doing. It's just, it happens within your wounding space. So we have to get out of that, and we have to allow in love and connection. That really was a message I was very called to speak on today. So for those of you that enjoy my content, whether you're on YouTube or on my Instagram, Joyful Healer on Instagram, I talk a lot about connection because it is a human concern that is very essential for our well-being. It's one thing to be off in the clouds and thinking about all of these esoteric and metaphysical subjects, and they all have validity. And I enjoy speaking about those things. But the reality is that we're here on this planet in the 3D, in physical form, and as a human, we need to navigate human connection. We cannot bypass that. One of the reasons we're here on Earth in human form is to experience human relationships. Now, energetic relationships are very powerful, yes. What are energetic relationships? Energy-based relationships with other people here on the planet with you, or energetic soulmates that you have out in the etheric realm or the spiritual world that are your, past life soulmates and things like that. So while those connections are also real and valid, we have to honor the human connection that we're here to experience. And that involves navigating all of this programming and wounding and stuff. And it sometimes feels like a huge freaking mess. But we have to face it. We can't run from it. Continuing to run from it is just not going to end up, it's not going to be good. So try really hard not to self-isolate or to become a victim to your triggers and a victim to your past. You, in this now moment, can decide and be self-aware of what's going on with you. You also have to understand that everything within your field is a reflection and a mirror. So sometimes we, as quantum beings that are interconnected, act as roles or teachers. So whatever it is in your field that you're still struggling with is going to present itself over and over and over again in the form of other people in your reality and experiences that you have until you face it and you integrate it. So if you have this rejection, abandonment, whatever you have in your field, you continue to attract experiences through other people that reflect that. The moment you understand that you deserve a certain type of love, a certain type of connection, you're no longer attracting that type of experience in the form of other people. Okay. That goes with releasing self-abandonment and all of these cycles of that, increasing our self-love, reducing our self-abandonment behavior with our boundaries in place, but our heart open to the right energetic match for that. Nobody said this shit was going to be easy, but it's necessary. I'm going to leave you with that, my love. So I send blessings your way. Peace, bliss. Until then, love and light.